Good morning and welcome to the Daily Journal's Newsbreak, sponsored by Renaissance Bank. Today is Thursday, January 18th. I'm your host, Emma Kent. We're going to take a look at the top news and sports stories from Northeast Mississippi, but first let's start with your weather forecast. Today will be sunny with a high of 40 and a low of 19 with a 0% chance of rain. Friday will be partly cloudy with a high of 51, a low of 31, and a 0% chance of rain. Saturday will be partly cloudy with a high of 53, a low of 40, and a 10% chance of rain. On Sunday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies with a high of 60, a low of 50, and a 20% chance of rain. The Mississippi House voted on Wednesday to approve a new school funding formula. The House voted 66 to 54 to replace the Adequate Education Program with the Mississippi Uniform Per Student Funding Formula Act. 8 Republicans voted against the bill and 2 Democrats voted for it. The bill would remove from state law an objective formula established by MAEP to determine the full funding level for public school districts. Instead, the legislature would be able to set a base student cost from year to year. House Democrats offered 17 amendments to the bill. They ranged from trying to add an inflation factor to trying to develop an objective formula. They were all defeated by the Republican majority. House Speaker Philip Gunn introduced the bill late on Thursday. It passed out of committee on Tuesday and passed on the floor on Wednesday. It now goes to the Senate for consideration. The Tupelo City Council plans to let Mayor Jason Shelton's executive action removing Mississippi's controversial state flag from the Tupelo Police Department's headquarters stand. However, the council also plans to consider a municipal ordinance tonight that would bar Shelton or any mayor from removing any additional state flags from municipal property. A draft ordinance obtained from City Attorney Ben Logan directs that the state flag will continue to fly outside City Hall, within the City Council chambers, at Veterans Park, and at Ballard Park. The ordinance was drafted and will be considered at the initiative of Ward 6 Councilman Mike Bryan. The council will also consider the approval of a resolution on the flag directed to statewide leaders. The final form of that resolution remains unclear. Shelton said he would push the council to approve a resolution requesting a new design for the state's flag. But a draft of the agenda for today's meeting shows it will only call for a new referendum on the flag. School officials are hoping the extended winter weather school closings will also help slow flu outbreaks that have been hitting them hard. Tupelo Public School District Assistant Superintendent Andy Cantrell said that could be a silver lining to the time out of school. The Tupelo Public School District began seeing flu cases pick up in November, and it lasted longer than usual. Lee County Schools also had a couple of schools hit hard by the flu in early January. Superintendent Jimmy Weeks said there were a couple of days when principals sent 80 kids home with flu symptoms. Infection control experts at North Mississippi Medical Center said bad weather forcing people to stay home can reduce the opportunity to spread influenza. They also stressed that the flu is hard to predict. Data gathered by the Mississippi State Department of Health for the week ending January 6th suggests flu cases are backing off a peak set just before Christmas. However, activity remains high and widespread across the state. And in sports, the East Webster boys basketball team has become a factor in Class 2A in its third season under coach Michael Seeger. The Wolverines are 13-3 overall and 3-0 in Division II 2A play. They are led by 4 seniors, including 3 who have been starting for Seeger since he took over before the 2015-16 season. East Webster went 9-16 that year. They were 19-11 last season, losing to eventual state champ Coahoma County in the first round of the state tournament. Those seniors are Charlie Brand, Jacob Ginn, Isaac Patterson, and Art Thompson. Brand, who also quarterbacked the football team, runs the show at point guard. He averages a team-leading 15 points per game. That does it for Newsbreak on this Thursday. Don't forget that this show is just one of many online offerings from the Daily Journal that gets your news off the page and on the go. Be sure to check out the Prep Rally podcast for the latest in Northeast Mississippi high school sports with hosts Brad Locke and Dalton Middleton. On Wednesday's episode, they discuss the impact winter weather has had on basketball schedules and look back at the county tournaments. You can listen in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or at preprally.djournal.com. And Ole Miss and Mississippi State fans can listen to the Double Coverage podcast with beat reporters Parrish Alford and Logan Lowry talking about the Rebels and Bulldogs. Look for a new episode this afternoon in Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or at doublecoverage.djournal.com. Special thanks to Renaissance Bank for sponsoring Newsbreak. Remember, you can catch new episodes every weekday morning at 7 a.m. at djournal.com or on our Facebook page. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emma Kent. Have a great Thursday.